What kind of fucking angel dust are we smoking? Star Trek. We all have our opinions. We all have our thoughts. Things haven't exactly been the best for Star Trek in the last few years. But Star Trek is very prominent on Paramount Plus. And with Star Trek Season 3 of Picard, a new showrunner, a new writer, Terry Matalas, has taken over. You can tell that many things are different this season than any other season of Star Trek we've seen so far. But yet, there are some people who still hate it. And they don't just hate it, they almost hate every single bit of it. How is that possible? How is it possible they hate it as much or more than the previous two seasons, which arguably weren't that good? In my opinion, Season 1 of Picard and Season 2 of Picard were damn near trash. An abomination. So much so that my wife walked out of the show after 2 or 3 episodes. I continued to suffer and watch, but now with Season 3 here, you have people out there saying some really stupid shit. Let's explore some of that stupid shit right now. This is Star Trek Late Night.
Terry Matalas has blocked me on Twitter. I don't know exactly when he did this, but I think it was because of the last thing I tweeted him, which was,
I want hamburgers. No, I'm just kidding.
About how dumb it is that in the 24th and 25th centuries, Riker and Picard are taking turbo lifts from the bridge to sickbay in emergencies.
All right. I just want to say that, first of all, I've seen a ton of Star Trek movies and in Star Trek episodes. They're always taking the turbo lift during emergencies. They almost never emergency beam places. They almost never do it. And especially during a big emergency, because the transporters might be busy or they might need them for an emergency.
When starships have intra-ship beaming capability.
Yeah, but they never use them, and almost never use them.
I guess he didn't like that I pointed that out, because he blocked me.
Because it was a stupid thing to point out. Because it doesn't usually happen.
I had tweeted him a couple of things before that were critical of
There were also
him or whatever, but I guess this last one was the straw that broke the Targ's back because he blocked me.
You know, that's funny because kapla!
That's what happens when you speak truth to power, I guess. Anyway, I'll see you.
No, that's what happens when you waste people's time. That's what happens. Anyway, you can come up with like 1,000 examples of this.
Hurry.
Savick, take the con.
He's running, for Christ's sake. He's not beaming down to the emergency. He's freaking running. Spock is dying right now. And he's going down fucking ladders. He's going down hallways. He's running around people. It's like a goddamn relay race. Screaming through. I mean, this motherfucking guy, you could have just said emergency transport, like anything. Yeah, for Star Trek Into Darkness, yeah, it was a shitty movie, but oh my God. Why is Spock running? Why didn't Spock just beam there?
Coming through. Bridge!
Take the fucking transporter! Take the transporter!
Take the fucking transporter!
Kapla!
If that's the case, is this really the same Picard? I wish they would explore that. I've been saying this all season. And
I don't want that explored. Once again, this is a criticism that has nothing to do with Terry Matalas, too. That's the funniest thing. This is a criticism of basically somebody in Season 1 did this. The people in Season 1 did this. These reviewers hated it and lambasted it, and they were ranting on it. But now they want the guy writing Season 3 to go revisit it for a whole fucking episode? What kind of fucking angel dust are we smoking? Because I want some of it! I want to take that angel dust, and I want to smear it all over my hands! And then I'm going to stuff it up my ass!
He's the same man. How do you know that? Even after he was assimilated by the Borg in the TV series, there was questions about whether he was the same man. I don't understand.
Because there's not questions about whether Picard is the same man because he had mechanical devices. It's because he went through a certain trauma. Like, he went through, like, a crazy trauma where he was abducted and they put devices on him and turned him into a different person. He killed people. In season 1, he dies, but they bring him back to life in a robot body. So there's no what's the trauma to deal with? There's no, I mean, that he died, I guess, but like what okay, like let's spend a whole episode talking about how this makes you feel. That's exactly what you don't want from Picard. He died. They slapped him in the robot body. Now he's alive. That's it. But as a Borg, he killed people. He was like raped and violated, and he killed people. Like, he was connected to the collective. It's a whole different thing. How do you not know that?
Look at me. I hide behind a mask. That's right. Even if it's not that bad, I'll still say it's terrible. Dumb cock. I want to sleep with Alex Kurtzman and infiltrate his anus.
This is really important.
Every bit as pathetic as Kurtzman always thought they were. It says Hollywood can shit all over fans for years and years and years, and as soon as they sprinkle member berries on the shit, desperate fanboys will lap it all up again like good little sheep.
They put member berries all over season 1 and season 2. There was member berries there in season 1 and 2. I want to remind you that this review from Dumbcock is from episode 1. There was member berries all over seasons 1 and 2, and they were terrible. But there's member berries in season 3, but they're more in the background, and the story is the interesting thing. If you don't know that and haven't been watching, you're not being honest with yourself.
Hey kids, get in my TARDIS.
And after all the disrespect, the money will continue flowing in.
Wrong again, because Discovery is going off the air, and it looks like they're scaling back. That's the rumor. In fact, I bet some of his current videos would be something to the effects of,
Well, everyone, we were right. As Star Trek is going bankrupt because Discovery finally has come to an end, and they won't be making a whole bunch of new Trek anymore because they burnt the money on garbage and nobody wants to see this shit.
So which one is it? Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be that they're out of money now because they failed and I told you so? Or is it going to be they'll just keep pumping money into garbage? Which one is it going to be? Now, this could be something that comes true, and he could be right eventually. God knows, I've agreed with Doomcock on a ton of stuff. He's right on a ton of stuff, but I believe he's letting his hate blind him to the truth that Picard Season 3 is at the very least mediocre. At the very least, you would have to admit that it's not too bad. At the very least. I disagree. I actually think it's good. I think it's good. If not, it could be great. We're only on episode 3. It could really become great or epic. I don't know what it will be. But at least right now, I know it's good that I want to know what happens next. And it's definitely not as garbage as the other new Treks have been.
But I bet you can guess the part of the episode that I absolutely hated.
I don't know. What is it? Is it the Dominion?
It's the Dominion. It's the changelings. I hate it. I hate it.
Experience joy, can you?
I hate it. I hate it. It's
He's saying it with a smile. This is not real. It's great radio, but it's not real. No way it's real.
Not from this show.
It's not from this show. Listen, I agree that TNG and Deep Space Nine are quite different in many ways, but they're very connected as well and part of the same universe. And a major character in Star Trek The Next Generation, Worf, is in this show. And so it all ties in. Doesn't it all tie in, really, when you think about it? Doesn't it really all tie in? And by the way, I don't even know how it's going to tie in 100% yet. We don't know, but this is the problem. This is the biggest thing. The biggest thing you hate is that something from the Star Trek universe, from the good old days, is going on in this story. That's the most hated thing. It's not the swearing. It's not Beverly's reasoning.
You Trek nerds, all you Trek nerds out there who have spent the last 5 years hating Alex Kurtzman because he doesn't get Trek or he ruined Star Trek or whatever. Terry Matalas came to Alex Kurtzman's office and said, I have an idea for the TNG reunion season of Picard, and it's a bunch of Deep Space Nine shit. And where I would have thrown the pages in his face,
Steve,
Alex Kurtzman said, yeah, sure, go for it. Sounds good. So everybody who's been mad at Alex Kurtzman owes him an apology.
Let me ask you a question.
All right, so this doesn't make any sense. So when in season 1 when they killed Picard, that was Alex Kurtzman's fault? So a writer got hired by Alex Kurtzman in season 1, and when they killed Picard and did all this other dumb shit, that's not Kurtzman's fault? But then in season 3, or it is Kurtzman's fault? I'm very confused. Why is it either not or it is? So in season 1, when Picard dies, it's not that writer's fault, it's Kurtzman's fault. But in season 3, when you don't like the Deep Space Nine aspect, that's Terry Matalas' fault, but not Kurtzman's fault? First of all, none of this is anything like anybody's fault. Kurtzman is in charge of Star Trek, and he's put people in place he thinks are going to work. They didn't work really that well in season 1, and they didn't work too well in season 2 100%, but it wasn't good for me either. It wasn't very good. And then everybody went on to do something else, and then they didn't have anybody else, but Terry Matalas was there, and I don't know whether Terry went to them or they went to Terry. I think they might have gone to Terry, and they said, hey, listen, you take over season 3. And that may have been Akiva Goldsman. I don't know. Michael Shea. Somebody somewhere said, hey, Alex, we're gonna have Terry. We think Terry'd be good to take over season 3. And Kurtzman said, okay, or had to be convinced or whatever, and said, all right, go ahead. But again, why is it Kurtzman's fault in the first 2 seasons, but not in the 3rd season? What are we talking about? This doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, kids, get in my TARDIS.
If you value the past, you're an old fart. The Enterprise D wasn't all that. Welcome to your new improved Star Trek, straight from the bowels of Alex Kurtzman. This is your replacement Trek. They even had the balls to call this episode The Next Generation, but they weren't even talking about the old show.
What the devil is that?
Kapla!